Broadcasting live from WOYK's downtown studios at Santander Stadium. Talking York's home teams. Welcome to York College Spartans Sports Weekly on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. Now, here are your hosts of Spartan Sports Weekly, Daryl Henry and Scott Geis.
Well, not that it's a huge deal necessarily. I think maybe, let me think here. Yeah, the second word of the opening was a fib. So we've already a little bit. We've already told a little white lie this week, but it's normally almost live.
Yeah, not today.
This week it's not even close. Welcome everyone. And for us, it's a good morning. You're listening here in the afternoon, but Scott, we've got baseball today, so you were kind enough and flexible enough to come on in here early and knock this baby out.
That's right. We got a big doubleheader today against Marymount, a crucial conference doubleheader as the Spartans look to kind of better position themselves for the Capital Athletic Conference tournament, which actually starts next Tuesday, which is just unbelievable. So we still have a bunch of conference games to bang out. I believe 6 to play this week before the conference tournament starts on next Tuesday.
You're very flexible to come in this early.
It is. It's kind of different. It's I'm a lot more mellow in the morning. Haven't had a chance to get all worked up from a Monday at work yet, so it's it's pretty good. So went out, got the press box set up, ready for the game today, and of course we'll be broadcasting. And then it's going to be looks like it's going to be an absolutely gorgeous day. There's our weather report for today. It's going to be beautiful, and then it's going to rain the rest of the week. So
really?
But yeah, it looks absolutely gorgeous out. Low 70s today, sunshine. Boy, I tell you what, you can't beat that with a stick.
Well, and it's a noon start for the York College baseball team, a doubleheader today at home. So probably it'll still be going.
Oh, yeah, it'll still be going.
Yeah.
Two 9-inning doubleheaders. The conference has gone back to that format where you play 2 9-inning games, either home and away, or you'll play a doubleheader. But 9 innings, it makes for a long day, especially when you're starting at 12. You're probably not getting done till a little after 6. So it's a long day at Chiquette Field today for sure.
Yeah, but if you're listening now, I mean they're going, so swing by and catch the rest of that at Chiquette. And Scott, it's a big opportunity for the Spartans, and we'll get into baseball later in the show, but a couple of wins today. If they're able to do that against Marymount, they'll be back within a game of 500. They've scuffled here the last couple of weeks, but obviously heading into the CAC tournament next week, which it's very strange, but that's the way the baseball schedule is, that it's kind of right there in the middle. Is there still time for them to turn it around and go on a run here?
Oh, certainly. I think it's never too late, especially when you still have your conference tournament to go. The problem becomes you want to put yourself in good position. The key is you want to head to the weekend with a 2-0 record, and that means it's helpful to play at home in that first round on Tuesday, and then have an opportunity to win that first game at the site of the top ranked team. So it's tough, and they've kind of dug themselves a little bit of a hole, but I think there's still a possibility to be able to get in there and be able to do some damage. They just need to start playing a little bit better, hitting the ball a little bit better, pitching a little bit better. Other than that, they've got it covered. So yeah, it's a situation where they certainly are not out of it by any stretch of the imagination, but the clock is ticking. You need to start playing a little bit better here soon.
Well, maybe they'll do that I hope they do it before then, but maybe they'll do that Thursday here at Santander Stadium, and we'll have that one against Elizabethtown at 6 p.m., coming right out of game day with Game Time PA, I'm sure flawlessly.
It'll flow. It will just flow seamlessly. So, yeah, I'm excited about having that on, and that'll also be on the Spartan Sports Network but you'll have it on radio too. So there's going to be a plethora of ways you're going to be able to watch that game on Thursday, and hopefully the weather holds out and we'll be able to come over. I know there's a bunch of teams coming over, and hopefully my youth team's going to be coming over, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, that was my next question. You being the weather guru, have you looked that far ahead? What Thursday looks like?
Yeah, it's funny. They're calling for showers most of the week, but not a consistent. It's gonna be one of those things where the front kind of hangs out and stalls, and we're going to get rain showers. I don't think it's going to be any kind of consistent rain, but I actually wanted to smack the weatherman the other day because he said, we're actually low on rain. I'm like, wait a second. No. Oh, no. We need to stay dry for a little bit so we can get the rest of these games in. But certainly, today, I kind of wish it was today that we were playing here because it's going to be gorgeous outside. And hope everybody takes the opportunity to get outside for at least a little bit today because it's going to be great. This is what spring should be.
Yes, at long last.
At long last, exactly.
Well, we'll open the show with softball, and that's where the biggest story of the week was made. And to take a look back at the entire week, Scott, we'll do that. But obviously, Saturday we had a terrific moment. Again, not on the mound, but in the circle.
In the circle
for the Spartan softball team. And I guess you were there for that. So
yeah, it was.
Tell us what you saw.
Sure, Melissa Jurkovic, a freshman right-hander from New Jersey, threw a perfect game. 6 innings. It was pretty impressive. There was a couple key defensive plays. A couple line drives that got snagged. There was one play in particular that Megan Martin made up the middle on a ball that looked like it was going to be a base hit and threw her out at first. It was pretty fantastic. 9 strikeouts, 74 pitches, perfect game. It was neat to watch, and you can kind of feel as the game went along that you kind of were watching something special, and certainly she was fantastic. She's been our second pitcher all year behind Courtney Martin and really did a fantastic job. She actually pitched both ends of the doubleheader against Southern Virginia. The first game, the Spartans won 8-0, and the second game was a 10-2 win in 6 innings. And it was actually looked like she was going to have to go to the 7th because it was a late rally to get those 8 runs, or a late rally to get the final 2 runs to push that across and close out the game and give her a perfect game. So it was kind of a neat experience to get to see. There wasn't a lot of people there because it was Easter Saturday before Easter, but certainly an impressive performance. And she really had a great week. She was 4-0 with a 1.95 ERA, 19 strikeouts in 25 innings and only 2 walks. So really, in the one game, and I wouldn't even say she got roughed up, but she gave up 5 runs to Frostburg in a game that the Spartans won 6-5 in extra innings. So she threw the ball really well this week, and certainly to pick up a pair of wins on the backside with the sweep of Southern Virginia is pretty impressive. But really, the Spartans are playing well right now. They've won. They had a little hiccup early in the week. They lost to Penn State Harrisburg 2-1, which is not a great loss, but Penn State Harrisburg is having a good year as well. But to be 17-10 or 17-9, right now, and a 6-4 mark in the conference, with basically 4 conference games left this weekend, is they've put themselves in good position, which is really neat to see, especially a team that is as young and as new as what we have. It's a lot of fun to watch, and really they're getting contributions from a lot of different people. J.C. Cristato really had a good week. She hit over 600 for the week for the Spartans. Ashley Lechner had 2 home runs in the 2 games against Southern Virginia. So they're getting contributions from a lot of different people. Katie Maloney's hitting 377. Cristato's hitting 366. Lechner 341. Carly Ruhlman, who missed the last 2 games after she got injured in the Frostburg game, twisted her foot. Not sure how long she's going to be out, but she's having a good year. So they're getting a lot of contributions, and most importantly, the pitching staff of Courtney and Melissa have just been really good. They have a 2.31 ERA, which for 2 freshman pitchers, that's pretty good, and they've done a really good job. So Melissa's 5-1 with a 2.42, and Courtney's 12-8 with a 2.24. So 2 kids that are doing a really good job in the circle, and certainly has been a key for our success so far this year.
And for Melissa, not only a perfect game in Game 2 Saturday, she won the first game. She started
actually
both.
The perfect game was Game 1. Then she won the second one.
I'm
That's
sorry.
my fault.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
No, that's fine.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's
that's a good day.
That's a great day. That's a great day. I mean, and it's funny because she came out in the first inning of the second game after throwing the perfect game, and immediately gave up two runs. One of them was on an error, but it's kind of like, it's so close. You think you've dominated this team for 6 innings. We're just going to go out and do it again. But credit Southern Virginia, they came out swinging the bats, and really she calmed down after the first inning, only gave up like 2 hits the rest of the way, and really was good as the offense kind of kicked in. And, she gave up 2 in the first. The offense got 5 back in the bottom of the first. So it gave her a little bit of breathing room and helped her get comfortable and really, really pitch well.
So the perfect game, you mentioned defense, and it was only 74 pitches in 6 innings. Did she have any deep counts that you were nervous about?
I think there were 2 right after one of the kids at the table through 5th inning goes, "Oh, she's got a perfect game going." I'm like, "Oh no, what are you doing?" And immediately she went 3-2 on one hitter, and actually the girl fouled off like probably 4 or 5 pitches, and I'm like, "Oh no!" But she was pretty clean, even the strikeouts. To have 9 strikeouts and only throw 74 pitches, she was pretty clean and pretty efficient. There was one point in time. She was probably through 4 innings, had only thrown like 7 balls. So that helped keep the pitch count down. And like I said, she got some timely plays and some, when you have defense playing well behind you and she pitches quick. I think that's one thing. When you're playing defense and the pitcher is really working quick, that allows you to kind of be on your toes. And I think our kids did a really good job.
Well, Spartan Athlete of the Week coming from softball, maybe.
It very well could be. We'll have to consult. We'll encourage people to check the website this afternoon and see who Derek has selected for the Spartan Athlete of the Week. But I got to think there's some strong candidates from softball this week.
Putting you on the spot. How long?
I don't mind when you do that at all.
Mind? How long do you think? That's the extent of our research before the show. That's the extent of our production meeting.
Yes.
I'll just bring it up during.
That's fine. We'll just go with the flow.
Yeah. When do you think the last no-hitter or perfect game was?
That's a great question. In fact, we don't really. That's the one thing about our records. They're not great. I honestly don't remember having one anytime recently within probably the last 10 years.
It's pretty special.
Yeah. No, it's certainly a significant accomplishment. And you feel bad as you're supposed to be the information person, and sometimes when the information just isn't available, it's hard.
Yeah.
But she was certainly fantastic, and really kind of the cool thing about it was just to see the joy in the kids' face when they knew at the end of the game what happened, and sometimes when you're in the moment, you don't really think about it, but our kids really did a nice job and kept their heads and really played some great defense on Saturday.
Well, the team since last Sunday has now won 6 of the last 8, 3 in a row overall. And Scott, you had a chance after that game Saturday, after that doubleheader, to catch up with head coach Jen Pettis, and here is that conversation.
We are here with Spartan softball coach Jen Pettis after the Spartan sweep Southern Virginia as they improved to 16-9 overall and 6-4 in the conference. Coach, a perfect game today, pretty rare accomplishment for Melissa, and talk a little bit about your feelings about Game 1.
Well, I couldn't be more proud for Melissa. I mean, as a freshman, not only to throw a perfect game, but to throw back-to-back games for the first time this season. That's a special accomplishment all in itself, a perfect game, and she just really had command all day. She hit her spots. The excitement might have got to her just a little bit in that first inning of the second game when they lit her up for a couple hits there, and she understood that she still needed to hit her spots to continue, and I thought that was really great that she settled back in and did her job really nicely. Overall on the day, very pleased to get 2 wins. As you know how I am, so I'm always going to demand a little bit more. Offensive production was lacking today, and I'd really like the girls to be able to make better adjustments at the plate.
Ashley Lechner had a huge day, a couple home runs, had a bunch of RBIs. She's really come on lately. We've talked about her last week and talking about her again this week. She seems to be that one constant. She's going to go up and she's going to grind out at bats, and she's going to take her licks as she's up there.
Well, and to be honest with you, she's just one of those kids where, she doesn't let the spot in the batting order bother her, where, we hit her 4 today. Some girls will be like, oh, geez, I'm in the 4 spot, so I have to do something special. She really just goes in the box and gets her money's worth. Same approach, and she actually is one that did make an in-game adjustment. She backed herself off the plate just enough where she was able to drive that ball over the fence. She wasn't real happy with the first at-bat where the ball was grounded into the ground and she got jammed up a little bit. But she was, she visibly made that in-game adjustment, which is what, as a coach, what we're looking for in all of our players to make sure that they can do that.
JC Cristiano had a big week this week, another big game, 2 big games today from the top of the order. How does that help your lineup when you have your leadoff hitter on I think she was on probably 70% of the time this week. How much does that change the offense?
Significantly. I think, our leadoff batter setting a tone, whether it's a line drive out or a base hit, has always, led to good things happening for the rest of the game. And for her to really come on strong now, she's swinging a nice bat, seeing the ball much bigger. It really has shown in our play as a team when she is able to be successful offensively, and then again she's playing really well defensively also, so that helps.
Big week coming up, Messiah and then F&M before heading on a 4-game trip to Christopher Newport and Mary Washington. That'll determine where we're at conference-wise. What are you looking for next week?
Consistency. I really think we need to have more aggressive approaches at the plate, watching an awful lot of strikes. And when you play quality teams, that is not what you want to do. We want to be going up there and swinging hard at good pitches, pitch selection. But overall as a team, just consistency and confidence. Every game we want to keep that same approach. We want to come out ready to play. We don't want to wake up in the third or fourth inning and start doing that. So what I'm looking for overall in the week, 8 wins.
Sounds fair enough. Well, I'm going to let you go get back out to the field. It's actually dusty.
It is.
Who would have thought that?
Who would have thought?
But your wonderful husband, DJ, out working on the field right now as we're getting ready to close up after the game today. So he gives us a little nod looking over here, doing his manly work of cleaning up the infield. So good luck this week, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you very much, Scott.
All right, good stuff there. Very good week. Great day Saturday, Scott. And softball going well at 17-9.
Yeah, you see what Coach talked about. This is a team that still struggles to make in-game adjustments sometimes. We saw that specifically the Gettysburg game where the pitcher continued to pound the outside half of the plate, and we just kind of wouldn't make an adjustment. We'll adjust from game to game. We do a pretty good job of that. But sometimes we struggle a little bit with in-game adjustments, and a lot of that is we're so stinking young that we haven't learned how to do that yet. And I think that's part of the process. And, we'll certainly, I think, get better at it. But, it's one of those things where you like to see them continue to grow. And they've grown a lot as young as this team is. But there's a lot of good things going on. There's a lot of positive things around the softball program right now. And certainly Coach Pettis, it takes some time to rebuild a program, and that's what she's had to do, and she's really done a fantastic job of it. And I think really the sky's the limit moving forward as this team continues to get better. We're going to get more recruits. She's really happy with the recruiting class she has at this point in time. There's some pitchers in there that I think are going to continue to help make us a little bit better. And there's a couple key positions we're going to have to shore up moving forward, but she's very cognizant of that, and really, I think she's going to recruit us some really good players to fill those positions.
One thing I've been able to pick up on is how hard these coaches work at this level, the hours they put in, and I have noticed that she certainly is. Oh,
we're very blessed. We have a staff of coaches that work really hard and really expect the best out of themselves, expect the best out of our kids, and really are good role models for our kids and provide a kind of you see how hard they work, and then the kids kind of follow suit, and it's a lot of fun to watch, and certainly it is a lot of work. Coaches, people who think that Division III coaches just kind of roll the ball out and coach couldn't be farther from the truth. The recruiting process is long, it's arduous, it's never ending, and that's something that's really it's part of the deal. And it's challenging, but our coaches seem to rise to the occasion and do a great job.
Well, softball will host Messiah Wednesday at 3 in a doubleheader, then at Franklin and Marshall on Thursday, at Christopher Newport Saturday, at Mary Washington on Sunday, at the CAC tournament the following week.
It's kind of crazy. And honestly, if you can go down and get split and get 2-2 at Christopher Newport and at Mary Washington, you've put yourself, that leaves you at 8-6 in the league. That puts you in pretty good position to get a top 3 seed, I would think. It all depends on what Frostburg does. They have a couple games left. Salisbury and Christopher Newport are going to be the 2 top seeds. In fact, I believe Christopher Newport swept Salisbury this weekend, so they're kind of in the driver's seat of conference play. So, the important thing is for the Spartans to just go out and keep making progress, keep playing well, keep making in-game adjustments, and getting better at that as we move through the season. So they'll be home on Wednesday, and then won't be home for a couple weeks until we come back I believe, when is it? Towards after the CAC tournament, we'll be back at home against. That'll actually only one more doubleheader at home. That'll be Mount Aloysius on the 26th. So not many home games left. Wednesday and then the 26th. Now knowing the way the weather is, we'll likely be able to add some more games later. But as of right now, those are the two remaining doubleheaders.
All right. Well, softball, again, at home on Wednesday and coming off a terrific week. That'll close our first segment here on this week's show. You're listening to York College Spartans Sports Weekly, and of course, you can also find us on WOYK1350.com, the WOYK mobile apps, YCPSpartans.com, and if you've missed any of our shows, our archives are posted there online as well. We will get into lacrosse, baseball later in the show as well, and a whole lot more. Just getting started here on this Monday edition here on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Turning a double play takes teamwork, and so does preparing for life's challenges. Murray Securus works with you, hand in hand, providing thoughtful solutions to help you plan for the future. Team up with Murray Securus for safer, more secure risk management, personal insurance, health benefits, wealth management, even cutting-edge human resource solutions for individuals and small to large businesses. Living life in a winning way just takes a little teamwork. Call Murray Securus today at 397-9600 or go to murrayins.com.
Blazing fast service for all of your wipeouts. OSS Health Urgent Care will take care of all of your muscular and skeletal sprains, pops, twists, and breaks in minutes, not hours. Open 7 days a week for your urgent orthopedic needs. Now at two convenient locations, 1855 Powder Mill Road in York and 856 Century Drive in Mechanicsburg. Visit us online at osshealth.com. OSS Health Urgent Care. Experience you can trust.
Dad, I'm home. Why am I not surprised to find you laying on the couch?
Oh, hi, son. Is your fall semester over already?
Yep, I love it at York College, and I really like living on campus this year.
Yeah, that reminds me. We need to have a little talk. You know, about the facts of life.
Dad, we had that talk years ago. And anyway, I don't believe you ordered me from Amazon.com.
I mean, your mom and I are helping to pay for your college as much as we can, but now you've got room and board on top of books and tuition, and you haven't asked me once for money.
Dad, I told you last year that York Educational Federal Credit Union took care of all that. That student choice loan we applied for last year was a one-time application. All I have to do this year is tell them how much I need, and they send the money right to the school. The loan is set up similar to my Stafford loan, so I don't have to start making payments until 6 months after I graduate. I told you YEFCU rocks.
College has been good for you, son. You're smarter already.
York Educational Federal Credit Union, 1601 South Queen Street, York. Apply online at yefcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Your home for York's home team. The York College Spartans play here. Sports Radio 1350, WOYK, York.
Back here on York College Spartans Sports Weekly, time to talk another spring sport. That would be lacrosse, Scott.
Yeah, it's hard to believe looking at the schedule. You know, we're basically in the last 2 weeks of the regular season, which is, you know, kind of hard to believe. Then again, when you start in February, it goes by pretty quick. But the Spartan men went 1-1 for the week. They picked up their fourth straight win on Wednesday with a 17-4 demolition of St. Mary's, but then ran into Frostburg on Saturday. Frostburg, who is undefeated at 13-0, came back and beat the Spartans 11-7. Pretty well played game on both sides. Frostburg kind of made a late spurt to pull away, and the Spartans just didn't have an answer for it. But I'd like to go back to the St. Mary's game. The Spartans were tied 3-3 with the Seahawks and went on an 11-goal run, which is almost unheard of in lacrosse, to see a team just, you know, the St. Mary's scored at the horn at the end of the first quarter and then didn't score again until there was 10:15 left in the fourth period. Just a ridiculous run by York that blew the game wide open. But here's another stat for you, Daryl. They were 7 of 10 on the man advantage.
Wow.
That's ridiculous. Now, St. Mary's lost a little bit of control towards the end as they had 5 penalties in the fourth quarter. But holy cow, to go 7 of 10 really helps your man-up stats for sure. But Dylan Hanna had 5 goals. Dan Kaplan had 4. Tyler Hudson 3. Andrew Gamble 2. Ryan Cook, Chris Lees, and Matt Godlewski each scored 1 for the Spartans. Hudson had 4 assists. Cook had 3. Kaplan 2. Joey Fiorino had 1. And Andrew Gamble had another. So the Spartans had a big, big day. Outshot St. Mary's 42-27 and held a 27-20 advantage in ground balls. And another big stat, they went 17 for 24 at the X. So getting possession is such a big part of the game of lacrosse. They did a fantastic job, and really a great day on the field for the Spartans. Is probably one of their more impressive wins they've had in the last couple of years. And there's been a bunch of those, but the performance itself was just fantastic. And then against Frostburg, it was a game where Frostburg came in. They're playing really well, playing with a ton of confidence. Coach Childs really compared them to us last year, how we were just playing with such confidence and just kind of on a roll. And that's how Frostburg played, as they improved to 13-0, 4-0 in the conference. And that was the first conference loss for the Spartans this year. Dylan Hanna, 3 goals. Matt Witcher had 1. Joey Fiorino had 1. Andrew Warburton had 1. Andrew Gamble had 1. Witcher, Hanna, and Lees had the assists. So, Tyler Hudson held off the board, which is, that's if we don't get goals from him, that's usually a sign that probably things didn't go well. Now, fortunately, we had guys step up and keep it a competitive game. It's a start of the third, it's a 6-4 game, and Frostburg just kind of slowly pulled away. And really, the second quarter was the big difference, as they outscored York 4-1 after the game was tied at 2. So Frostburg, a really good team. It's not a season-ending loss by any stretch of the imagination. The Spartans still have a couple conference games left, as they will host Wesley on Wednesday and then travel to they have a busy week this week. Wesley at home, at Stevenson on Friday, at Southern Virginia on Saturday, at Salisbury next Wednesday. So it's going to be a busy stretch of games, and then they'll close out the regular season on the 18th against Christopher Newport at home. So 2 home games left for the Spartans, 3 road games before we start the CAC tournament on April 22nd. So it's flown by, but certainly a lot of good things going on. There's some guys that are playing really well, despite Hudson getting held scoreless in the last game. He now has 259 points in 65 games. He's got 190 goals, 69 assists, so 10 goals away from joining the 200 club, and certainly in college lacrosse, that's a significant accomplishment. He has 49 points this year on 29 goals and 20 assists. The 20 assists already ties a career high for a season. He had 20 back as a sophomore when he had 78 points. So he's a phenomenal player, and just it's been so much fun to watch him play, and really, he's been special. And you want to be able to see a kid like that go out on a high note and be able to play well in the CAC tournament and give a chance to get back into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and like you had mentioned, they had won 4 in a row before that game Saturday. They've gotten a little bit healthier, too, of late, haven't they? Yeah,
Chris Lees came back. Now, Garrett Barker came back, but then got hit in the head with a shot at St. Mary's and had a concussion. So he missed the game on Saturday. It's been crazy, some of the injuries this year. JoJo Joseph is going to miss the remainder of the year, so that's a big loss at the midfield. They're still not quite sure exactly what's wrong with him. He has some kind of muscle quad injury that they can't really. It's been kind of a medical mystery at this point in time, but they've decided he's going to shut it down for the rest of the year. So that hurts a little bit in the midfield. But having Chris Lees back certainly helps. Getting Garrett back when he's fully healthy. Hopefully he'll be able to play on Wednesday against Wesley. It's just been a strange year with this kind of stuff. Now, Coach Childs has said this numerous times. In a strange way, it's a blessing, because there's a lot of guys getting experience that probably would not have gotten experience as much as they have this year because of the injuries. So, down the line, it's going to pay huge dividends for us. But, it's you still feel kind of crappy because this season probably hasn't been exactly what they had hoped for this year.
The lacrosse roster is so big. How many typically actually get in a game?
It depends. Usually, you have your 10 starters. There's probably, on any given game, there's probably 25 guys that play, sometimes more. It depends. Really depends on the game. You have a couple shifts of, you have like 2 attack lines. You have 3 midfield lines. Usually there's a man-down defense. So it's, there's a pretty good group of guys that get playing time. I think what you're noticing this year is the midfield. You have a lot of freshmen playing in the midfield, and that's a very key part. I think we were so spoiled last year having 2 All-Americans in the midfield that people never really understand. That was such a huge part of who we were, and to lose those 2 guys and not really, and with JoJo being hurt, there wasn't a whole lot of experience coming back. So a lot of those guys that are playing are young, but getting experience, and that's only going to help us in the long run. I think the expectations for this year were so high, and maybe looking back, they shouldn't have been just because of what we had to replace. But 7-5 is still really good. That ought to tell you that the expectations have been elevated around our program when, 7-5 used to be a cause for a party. 7-5 this year is kind of like, oh, okay, well, we're 7-5, and, we still have some tough games left. So, this is a team certainly capable of making a run in the CAC tournament, but things have not gone favorably for most of the year this year in terms of just getting some breaks and having things go our way.
Well, Wednesday at home against Wesley at 2 p.m., looking to bounce back, get in the win column again, and Scott will jump over to the women's lacrosse team and ranked 15th in the country and coming off a terrific win on the road on Saturday, a really high-scoring game at Mary Washington, and down 1 at the half and really owned the second half.
Oh, they were fantastic in the second half. To win 17-12 on the road at Mary Wash. It's funny to see this team. This team is they've battled some injuries as well, but they certainly had a big day. Jamie Verman with 5 goals, Sarah Castle with 4, Allison Colasi with 3, Caitlin Catrano with 2, Sarah Castle had 2 assists. It was, down 9-8 at the half, and they come back and outscore Mary Washington 9-3 in the second half. We haven't had many shootouts like this, but it was this type of game, really, and it was fun to watch. And the Spartans did a great job of controlling the draw. They won 19 of the 30 draws, which is a solid percentage. They were really good in the clear, and they did a good job of taking care of the ball for the most part. Some turnovers that. You look at the total of 19, and it's like, it seems a little high, and it probably was. But they're able to maximize their shots. So to score the number of goals that they did scored 17 goals on 28 shots. That's the kind of shooting percentage that coach is looking for. And certainly I think earlier in the year we struggled to put the shots on cage and then put them in the net. That has obviously been a focus of practice, and the last couple games, they've been really good at finishing, and I think that was a key in the win over Mary Washington.
Is it like other sports where shot selection is something that's harped on a little bit?
I think so. I think so. You don't want to just, especially in lacrosse, you don't want to just chuck it in there. You want to have a good look and be able to set your feet and be able to really get your hand. The big thing you hear in lacrosse is get your hands free. If you can get your hands free, that's a big thing. Create some space and be able to shoot. And part of it's the product of running offense. Run through your sets and be able to get, create good shots and be patient. Sometimes it's, there's not a shot clock in lacrosse. There is at some point in time there becomes a timer if it becomes too long. But in lacrosse you have the ability to kind of cycle through things. It's not like basketball where you cycle through twice and then you're like, oh, there's not much time left on the shot clock. We got to make something happen. You can continue to cycle through and reset and give yourself an opportunity to continue to run offense. And I think our team does a really good job of running offense. When we run offense well, we're going to get some really good looks, and I think that was the case on Saturday against Mary Washington.
And by the way, the women, their last 4 victories, 4 of their last 6 games overall, but those 4 victories, they have scored 16 or more.
Yeah, and that's that offense has the potential. And the 2 losses, look at our 4 losses this year. They've all come to teams that are nationally ranked. That is the thing, Coach. We play a tough schedule. So to have 8-4, wow, people will be like, well, 8-4 is how great is that? When all 4 losses are to nationally ranked teams, those are those are the games that you go, okay, well, those are the toughest games on our schedule. And we also have some wins over nationally ranked teams. St. John Fisher was ranked. Ithaca was ranked. Messiah is ranked. So Dickinson was ranked. So, it's not like, we don't beat nationally ranked teams. You just, we're playing some of the best in the country. But at Frostburg State at home, at Southern Virginia, St. Mary's at home, and Christopher Newport at home, really, that should be 4 wins for the Spartans. This is softer part of the schedule, but it's going to you still have to go out and play, and you have to go out and play well. So if you end the season 12-4 and you're that's 6-1 in the conference, 3 more conference wins, actually 4 more conference wins, makes you 7-1. Then it puts you in great position to get a second round, a first round bye and have that second round game at home. So they just have to go out and take care of business. This team's been playing pretty well, and it's young. I mean, we're so young, and we still have a lot of talent. Coach Mustin does a fantastic job of bringing in quality kids year after year after year, and the expectations are always high. And this is a team that's certainly scoring to the point where they've been pretty good, and playing good enough defense to be able to allow our offense to really take over and win games for us.
Well, so many nationally ranked teams, including York, that are in the Mid-Atlantic or Northeast, however you want to describe it. Is there another pocket of the country where there are some other ones?
Probably New England.
Yeah.
Probably is that secondary mark. The Mid-Atlantic region, in lacrosse is some of the best in the country, just because of, that's basically where the hub of the sport is. You look at the men's national rankings, it's basically, the Mid-Atlantic area and then New England. So I think, or New York, New England, I should say. So you have, we're kind of in a hotbed. We're on the northern fringe of, where lacrosse really is strong, and certainly we have the opportunity to play a lot of really good teams close, which is kind of nice to have. We don't have to travel very far to play national schedule.
Well, a lot of our teams have a lot of road games coming up. The women's lacrosse team, on the other hand, a lot of home games coming up. Wednesday at home against Frostburg at 4:30. They do go to Southern Virginia on Saturday, but then 2 home games next week. St. Mary's next Wednesday, Christopher Newport next Saturday, and that's a special one on the schedule.
Yeah, it'll be. We're going to celebrate our 10th anniversary. This is the 10th season of Spartan women's lacrosse, and we're also going to recognize our silver anniversary team members. And looking forward to having some people come back to campus, some of our great Spartans of old, and certainly it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a festive day. We're doing the overall silver anniversary recognition at the men's game at halftime. So there's a lot of people back on campus. It's going to be a great day. Part of the Spartan Advance, there's going to be a Spartan Advance cookout. So a lot of fun going on that day. It's going to be pretty wild. There's going to be a lot of people around Graham Field or Kinsley Field on that Saturday for sure. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have a nice weather day.
And then after that, CAC tournament starts, and certainly would expect the Spartans to be there at Kinsley Field for some of those games.
Yeah. You got to think if they can take care of business the last 4 games of the year, they're going to earn that first round bye, and they're going to have an opportunity to host that second round game on the 25th. So, you want to put yourself in position in lacrosse if you can to be able to host that second round semifinal game at home, because that gives you a great shot of winning. And certainly our team's very aware of that, and we'll be very focused on the last 4 games of the year.
All right, well, looking forward to the week ahead for the lacrosse teams as well. And we'll take a time out here on York College Spartans Sports Weekly. We'll talk some baseball when we come back here on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Hi, I am Cindy Scullion, one of the proud owners of Frank Storm & Company. We have been voted one of the best for 14 years by the York Dispatch readers for your personal and business tax needs. Call one of my partners or competent staff to set up your tax appointment for your 2014 taxes. We also can handle doing payrolls, sales tax, and compilations for your businesses. Give us a call at one of our 3 convenient locations, York, Dallastown, and Hanover.
Hey athletes, does the winter weather dampen your sports training? It doesn't have to. Take your game inside at Backyard University, York's spectacular indoor sports training facility, right at home in your backyard. Located inside Fairmont Gym at 201 South Charles Street in Red Lion, Backyard University is a beautiful, state-of-the-art indoor complex for all of your sport needs. Featuring a complete baseball and softball training complex with batting cages, pitching tunnels, and a turf field for the entire team, Backyard hosts camps, clinics, and competitive youth travel teams to play in the region's top tournaments. Join York Revolution greats Jason Espedo, Daryl Harang, and Corey Thurman for one-on-one training. And take your speed and agility to a whole new level with professional trainer David David Brixius from Explosive Sports Performance. Play your game year-round at Backyard University, right at home in your backyard. Visit online at backyard-university.com.
Security in life isn't something you just wish for. You build it with a strong financial plan. Start with Northwestern Mutual. Together, we'll design a disciplined and balanced approach to financial security, because reaching your goals is something we both want to work toward. To learn more, contact me, Dan McGarry, at my office on the Square in York. Look for the blue awnings. Who's helping you build your financial future? The Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
The new Wyndham Garden York, formerly the Holiday Inn by the West Manchester Mall, has been fully renovated and remodeled. With 177 upgraded guest rooms, over 16,000 square feet of meeting space, 2 large ballrooms, indoor and outdoor pools, a much larger fitness center, a new business center, and free Wi-Fi throughout. The new Fender's Grill and Pub features American cuisine in a casual atmosphere using local meats, produce, wine, and craft beers. The new Wyndham Garden, 2000 Louts Road in York. Stop in or call us at 846-9500.
We're Screamin' Green. How about you? The York College Spartans are on Sports Radio 1350, WOYK.
Well, the week has arrived. The baseball team will have their game here at Santander Stadium this Thursday. First up, though, some business before that. And as you're listening to this show, Scott is at baseball at Jaquette Field right now. And maybe you should be, too. It's a beautiful day. But,
yeah, I'd love to have you.
Yeah, we're recording this morning since we're playing a doubleheader at noon today, hosting Marymount. So the magic of radio, Scott, you're on with me right now, and yet you're not here.
I'm not here, no. Well, hopefully the Spartans can get it turned around, kind of sitting on a 3-game losing streak, and quite frankly haven't played real well the last 2 weeks, and part of that is we haven't pitched the ball very well. And part of that, another part of that is, we waited so long to play games that games just started training one on top of the other. They've played a lot of games in the last couple weeks, and that really has hurt the pitching staff and really has not, has enabled. It's one of those things where, something bad starts happening and it kind of snowballs. They dropped a 6-3 decision to Shenandoah on Monday. They bounced back to beat St. Mary's 7-5 on Wednesday, but then lost to Penn State Harrisburg 12-7 on Thursday, and then got swept at Wesley on Saturday. So, they need to kind of start making some things happen. They have 6 Capital Athletic Conference games left. They're 4-8 in the league right now. You got to think that they probably need to win at least 4 to put themselves in solid footing for the seeding. It's really funny. There's really basically 2 top teams this year, Frostburg and Salisbury, and then it's just a jumbled mess down the rest of the standings. Everybody's kind of knocked off everybody else. So, if they can take care of business today, get a pair against Marymount, be able to go up to Penn State Harrisburg on Tuesday and win. At Frostburg on Wednesday will be tough. But even down at Christopher Newport on Saturday, they've been struggling. They haven't been great. I think they're 10-10 overall, and their league record's not real good. So, the Spartans have a chance to get healthy real quick, but, time is running out in terms of setting themselves up for a conference tournament seeding. So I think it's really important today, especially to kind of start the week off right, try and get a sweep of Marymount and put themselves, at 6-8, and then kind of work their way up to 500 and try and sneak a little bit above 500 before the end of the year, before the end of the conference season, I should say, and to put themselves in good position. So conference playoffs start next Tuesday, so we're going to be sitting here next Monday with a real good idea of where they're at in terms of conference play and setting up for the tournament. So it will be, it's going to be a very eventful week for the Spartans. And we have that game on Thursday against Elizabethtown, so it's going to be a busy week. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 games during the week is going to be that's going to be a lot of action going on for the Spartans. And
I won't do an ounce of preparation yet because they'll be playing 4 games in the next 3 days before that game.
Yeah, well, Thursday will be preparation. It'll be fine. We'll be able to do it. It's not. Hey, this isn't you. I over prepared when I do games on our broadcast. I inherently over-prepare, and I inherently throw a lot of paper away because,
Yes.
It's one of those situations where, the flow of the game, there's not a ton of extra time to throw things in there, and certainly, I'm not a radio professional like yourself, so my broadcasts probably have a little bit less preparation than yours do, but you are always over-prepared, so that's completely understandable.
It's a habit.
That's not a bad habit either. That's a good habit. You rather have too much than not enough.
That's true. And yourself and Ray Jensen and myself, and I know that's not proper grammar, but it gets the point across. The three of us will have that call.
Maybe we'll even have Derek come in, do a little color with Ray, and kind of have a little team thing going on.
Yeah, bring him over.
Be a lot of fun.
Haven't seen him in a few weeks.
Yeah, well, he's been busy.
I know.
I've locked him away, and just I'm a slave driver right now. Got to get stuff done.
That's it.
Hey, that's all you got to do
at all costs. So after they play the game here on Thursday, I assume they're going to be traveling on Friday since they're playing at Christopher Newport on Saturday. I mean, it's literally every day for that team this week.
Oh, it's one of those things where our kids have to be so focused on doing their schoolwork, and it's tough, especially you're on the field all day today. You're going to be exhausted when you're done. Got to come in, do your work, because now Penn State Harrisburg's not a bad trip. I think they leave at 12 or 1. So you can go to your morning classes. But the Frostburg on Wednesday, that's an early departure time. Thankfully, the game on Thursday is later. It's not till 6. So the opportunity to kind of get some things done and go to class on Thursday. And then the Christopher Newport, we're probably leaving like Friday afternoon. So, you have to really work to get your homework done and get ready for your classes. And that's that's one of the things that's really tough about baseball season is our kids are constantly on the go. So it's just one of those things. That's how it goes. And unfortunately, it's just part of the deal.
All right. Well, baseball, a busy week. And again, today at noon, doubleheader. Well, the noon time doesn't really mean
pertain
anything
to anybody right now. Yeah, exactly.
But they're playing now.
Yes, exactly.
Probably in game 2. Scott hopes it's in game 2.
If it's in game 1, we're in big trouble. We're not getting game 2 in if we're still in game 1 at 4:00 or like 4:40, whatever time it is right now.
Oh, and Marymount's a fairly new baseball program, by the way. How have they been?
Oh, they've actually had a pretty good year. They've knocked some people off. They've they're pretty aggressive in terms of, usually when you add a sport like baseball, it's in your best interest to be good early. So I think they've pushed that. I think they're 10-11 right now coming into game 1. And, they're not bad. So there's by no stretch of the imagination are we just going to be able to throw the ball out in the field and win 2 games today. We're going to have to earn them. So it's going to be, it's going to be tough. And they've done a really good job of stocking their program. And that's, when you want to be good and you put the resources in, you're going to have a chance to be successful, and that's, I think, what's going on down in Arlington.
All right, well, busy week coming up, and, of course, Thursday night at 6 we'll have the broadcast here. It'll be the second game ever that the Spartans play in this stadium. They hosted Wesley back in 2008.
Andy Rosenzweig was his coming out party. He had a big game that day, and, that feels like it was forever ago. In fact, Coach Sakia was still coaching, and, That was, and I'll tell you what. The thing I remember about that day is it was kind of chilly.
It was.
It was kind of chilly that day. I think we're gonna have a nicer day on Thursday for sure.
The thing I remember, I was more than a little under the weather, and I was on PA that day, so I barely had any idea what was going on, but got through it.
But the trooper you are, powered through. That's what you do.
Yeah, and then the Phillies the next day had a day game, and it was equally chilly. And here I am with a fever and everything, but I had tickets, and darned if we didn't go.
By the way,
see them play.
We kind of just have undersold the lead. This might be the greatest day in sports.
Yeah.
The NCAA championship, men's basketball championship game, and opening day.
Where are the Tribe?
The Tribe is in Houston.
Where is the Tribe?
They are in Houston, 7:10 p.m. Corey Kluber, the Klubinator, the Klubot on the mound. Big game today.
Fresh new contract.
Fresh new contract, and we have the free 6 or 7 day preview of the MLB extra innings package. So I might be flipping back and forth between basketball and baseball tonight because I'm pretty stoked. I think not to divert, but I think the Indians have a chance to have a pretty good year.
We're kind of getting into old guy radio now, on a whim here, but. Yeah, I love the free preview week. There will probably be an imprint of myself on my couch.
Nothing wrong with that.
End of the week.
Nothing wrong with that. I already have it plotted out. What time they play? They play an after game. After they're off tomorrow. then play on Wednesday, Thursday, and then they're at home against Detroit on Friday. Ironically, we have nothing at home on Friday. I might have to be home for the 3:05 start against Detroit just to see. So the home openers have not been kind to the Indians the last couple of years, so I'm not sure if I want to be there or not. And I think Verlander comes off the DL that day, so it'll be interesting. That's fine. Play the Motor City Kitties, Steve Navaroli's Motor City Kitties. Right. So should be fun.
Have to have the off day tomorrow in case there's any weather
in Houston.
That's with the roof. Actually, when we when the Revs are in Sugar Land and we go to the airport, we always go past that ballpark, and it's one of the strangest looking buildings
from the
I've
outside.
ever seen. Yeah, but I would love to see a game in there sometime. I bet it's.
I think you need to make arrangements for that. I think you got to get yourself down there for a game.
Might have to do that.
Yeah,
but
I think that's a cool ballpark. The hill in center field. As long as Bourne doesn't get hurt chasing after a ball, that'll be fine. Just it's one of those things. Well, and he played down there, so if anybody, he should be able to negotiate that. I think it's a cool place, and I think ballparks do such a great job nowadays of kind of having interesting little things. And it was interesting to see Wrigley with the banners yesterday over the bleachers, and it kind of looks strange, but. I think that when they're done there, it'll look pretty cool too. So
you ever been to Wrigley?
I've never been to Wrigley. I am actually going to cross Fenway Park off my bucket list this summer.
I am too.
So I'm pretty excited about that, and I think we're seeing them play the A's. We're up for a conference up there. So, yep. And of course, my wife's a huge Red Sox fan, so she's in her glory. She's going to be so happy. I'm just going to be kind of cool. I'm just going to be happy to kind of see the bark. I'm pretty excited about that.
Revs All-Star break is the Red Sox we're in Bridgeport, so we're partway there. And
that'll be
the Red Sox are home for a couple of days.
That'll be awesome. Yeah, no, I'm really excited about that, and certainly, it's something that if you're a baseball fan, you want to see Wrigley, you want to see Fenway, you want to see all these parks that, probably going to be around for a while still, but you never know. You want to be able to get a chance to be in there. I'm sure the seats will be nice and snug.
Oh, yeah. There was talk of a new Fenway at one point, but they kind of got away from that. But the Phillies.
I almost think that'd be blasphemous if you Wrigley and Fenway are the two ballparks where you kind of need to do whatever you can to save them because they are they're just steeped in baseball history.
Yeah, and the Phillies will enjoy their high point of the season for another couple of hours as we're taping this. They're still 0-0, so
not a lot of optimism for Philly fans this year, I guess. So, well, of course, the Revs are signing Ryan Howard. So, hey, I mean, come on, what more can you ask for?
Yeah, that'll fly. By the way, how's before we go to our last break? It is the national championship game tonight, and we'll have our coverage on Sports Radio 1350 beginning at 6:30. We have the game tonight on Westwood One. How was your bracket? I did predict the championship game, and I have won.
I was number one in my bracket until after the Kentucky game.
I'm sorry.
That being said, I'm totally fine with Wisconsin winning. I was, I'm kind of a Big Ten guy, so I was pretty happy to see them, and I like watching them play. I just like, everybody's like, oh, they play slow it down, but you watch how they play basketball. They just do such a great job of playing 5 as 1, and really, Kaminsky's fun to watch. Sam Decker's really good. That's the one thing that you've kind of noticed he's been fantastic during the NCAA tournament. And they make key shots. And all this one-and-done stuff, it's a group of guys that have stuck together. And I love that. I love kids staying in college and getting better and, not showing up for a year, going to classes for half a semester or for a semester and then, just playing basketball. I'd much rather see a true student-athlete, and it feels like that's what Wisconsin has, and I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's Okafor and Kaminsky kind of cancel each other out, and so I think it's really going to be a game of the guards, and I think whichever group of guards plays better is going to win the game. So I think it's going to be a great game.
Well, I don't like to use our show to toot my own horn, but I had gone my whole life never winning a bracket. I've won it now for the second straight year. Last year, though, the winnings were stolen before I was able to get them in my possession. So it's a long story. It was left out somewhere for me. It was taken before I got to it.
Not cool, man.
No. So this year I'll be on top of it.
There you go. Well, congratulations on picking that. And that's I finished in the upper. I think I'm finishing second, which I'll take. There was no money on the line because it's illegal to bet on NCAA basketball pools, so I do not engage in such things as to compromise my eligibility. So
I'm now running.
Yeah, it's okay. So maybe you're lucky the funds were stolen after we've now announced this on the radio.
That's true.
But anyhow.
hot evidence is in somebody else's hands.
Exactly.
Well, I stink at fantasy football, so I guess it's only fair. Well, we'll take one final break and wrap up this edition. We'll touch on tennis and track and field when we return here on York College Spartans Sports Weekly, right here on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Get ready for winter now and save big on your heating oil or propane costs. Call today to schedule your first fill, and don't forget to ask our energy advisors about the right money-saving plan or budget to fit your lifestyle. Lock in your rate and protect your price all winter. Our price-protected customers save an average of $325 per year. Visit ShipleyEnergy.com or call 855-4SHIPLEY to schedule your next heating oil or propane delivery. Shipley Energy, energy for life.
At OSS Health, our highly trained physicians are on the field, in the training room, at home games, or away. From preseason physicals to postseason surgery, we're on the sidelines so athletes don't have to be, getting you back in the game. When it comes to sports medicine, we're the ones you've trusted for 30 years. OSS Health Sports Medicine, experience you can trust. Visit us online at osshealth.com.
At Northwestern Mutual, we take a disciplined and balanced approach to financial planning. Together, we'll help build your financial future on time-tested principles, not market trends, so you can take advantage of life's opportunities. To learn more, contact me, Dan McGarry, at my office on the Square in York. Look for the blue awnings. Who's helping you build your financial future? The Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
The new Wyndham Garden York, formerly the Holiday Inn by the West Manchester Mall, has been fully renovated and remodeled. With 177 upgraded guest rooms, over 16,000 square feet of meeting space, 2 large ballrooms, indoor and outdoor pools, a much larger fitness center, a new business center, and free Wi-Fi throughout. The new Fender's Grill and Pub features American cuisine in a casual atmosphere using local meats, produce, wine, and craft beers. The new Wyndham Garden, 2000 Louts Road in York. Stop in or call us at 846-9500.
Your home for the Spartans. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Making sure that you leave here every week with that song stuck in your head, Scott. We close out this week's show and an update on tennis and track and field before you run over to the mighty Jaquette, the venerable Jaquette Field for the friendly confines for today's game.
The Woodshed. That's our...
Is it really?
We call that our press box, the Woodshed. In honor of Woody Fake.
Of course.
Yes. Yeah. Thankfully, I have everything set up already, so I just need to pick up the programs and dash over there.
And you have Derek.
And I have Derek. And Derek's awesome. So, we always love Derek. So, anyhow, track and field, they hosted their Twilight meet this past Wednesday. It was interesting. We had some portable lights come out because our field grew. We actually, normally it's around 6 teams. We ended up with 10 because a lot of teams had meets postponed or delayed because of weather. So, Coach agreed to have some more teams there. So we had some interesting things going on. We actually finished at about 9:30 on Wednesday night. It was kind of unlike anything I've ever seen, with 4 portable sets of lights around the field. It was interesting. It was interesting. But the Spartans, they finished 4th with a total score of 96.5. Ian O'Brien picked up the Spartans' first place finish, as he won the hammer throw with a throw of 175.5. That's a new facility mark, and also he sits first in the conference and is well within the top 10 of NCAA Division III with that distance. So he's off to a great start. Darnell Tillman picked up a pair of second-place finishes as he finished second in the 200 and then the 400. He's already had a really good indoor season and has just carried that over. A lot of other great performances, and certainly encourage everybody to kind of check out the website so you can read the full rundown of that. We'll turn to the women's side. They placed 6th out of 10, 50 points, as Erica Quenzer had another big day. She had York's lone first-place finish as she won the 100-meter hurdles in a time of 16:03, broke the previous school record, which she set earlier in the year. She's 3rd in the conference, and with her time in the hurdles. Jess Miller had another big day as she placed 3rd in the 5,000. She broke her own school record, also set a new facility record. She currently holds the fastest time in the conference this year and the 12th best in Division III. So they actually return to action this weekend as I pull up the schedule quickly. They'll head to the Johns Hopkins Loyola University Invitational in Baltimore, and that will be on Saturday. That'll start at 9 a.m. And then we move to tennis. The men are 9-5 and 2-3. Picked up a pair of wins this week as they beat Edge Gettysburg 5-4, and then beat Southern Virginia 8-1. Shockingly, they only have like 3 regular season matches left in the year, which is hard to believe. It seems like that's, they were kind of slow getting started, but now all of a sudden they've ramped up. The women, led by Katie Wagner, who's just been fantastic. Unfortunately, they've struggled a little bit as a team. They are now 3-11 overall, 0-5 in the league. But interestingly, Katie right now is 8-2 overall at the number 1 singles. Not often do you see a freshman step into number 1 singles and have that kind of success, but she's been really good, and she's been able to kind of carry that team. And I know Coach Weber is continuing to recruit. He said he has a couple really outstanding ladies coming in next year, so I think things are starting to look up for that program as well. So, yeah, it's hard to believe it's we're coming down towards the end of it as we get to the middle of April, and after this week it's there's not a lot of regular season weeks left for us.
Yeah. Well, they have a number 1 to build around, I think.
Katie, she's really good, and Coach Weber said she's just going to keep getting better.
Yeah.
She's already good. She's just going to keep getting better as she continues to adjust to the collegiate game and play a little bit more, and certainly having her on the basketball floor in the winter is helpful because she kind of maintains her fitness and is able to come right back in to tennis in the springtime.
All right. Well, very good, Scott. I will let you go. Enjoy the hard ball today. I can maybe hear the ping of the bat from here.
Nothing like the crack of the wood, though. I am still partial to the crack of the wood. I certainly love being out at baseball. I'm super excited to be outside today, and I think we're gonna have a gorgeous day for it.
All right. Yeah, busy week. Baseball today. It seems like almost everybody's home on Wednesday, so check out ycpspartans.com and check out the game today if you can.
Exactly, and hope everybody tunes in on Thursday night when we host Elizabethtown here. Looking forward to that, and hopefully the weather will be good for that, and we'll be able to get out in the field.
Fingers crossed. All right, Scott. We will. Aside from that, of course, we'll be back here next Monday at 4 as well.
Looking forward to it. Can't wait. It'll be here before you know it because it feels like we're constantly sitting here. It never, it's kind of funny how quick it goes.
It does. Well, this has been York College Spartans Sports Weekly, and again, stay tuned tonight at 6:30. Our coverage of the men's national championship gets underway right here on WOYK. We will talk to you next Monday at 4 for York College Spartans Sports Weekly here on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Your home for York's home team. The York College Spartans play here. Sports Radio 1350, WOYK, York.